right there at the rampway with that mask on, so you know what? I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna prove it was you, JC North. Now get that camera.
Thank you for acknowledging we're so far above you. Now, I know most of you probably can't afford a calendar, but even as stupid as you are, you probably realize that, yes, it is a new year, and with the new year comes new goals and bigger accomplishments. And right here at the start of the new year, let's have a warm welcome, the return of pro wrestling's most spectacular athlete, the role model, Jason Cross. That's right. Now, speaking of those new goals, I want to make the first goal clear and apparent to one man, and that man is Onyx. Now, Onyx, I know that you know you're walking around with NWA Elite property, and as you look into this ring, you realize that you see 4 men who hold victories over you, including Azrael, the Angel of Death, just as recently as last week. And Onyx, I want you to know that I give my solemn oath that 2004 will be the year that the Onyx problem is solved once and for all. And whether it's one of these 4 men or whether it's somebody else, this year will be your last year in professional wrestling. And speaking of somebody walking around with NWA Elite property, Caprice Coleman, this is also going to be your last year in professional wrestling. Because not only are we going to get our title back, we are going to disfigure your pretty face. And I promise you, when the Elite gets through with you, you are going to be uglier than Kelly Osbourne. And that's ugly, let me tell you. Now, Gabriel, we may not have been able to beat you back into the Elite, but in the weeks to come, I am going to show and prove to you that your so-called friends are nothing more than deceivers. They are your enemies who are manipulating and using you. And right here, with your family, with your brother, in the NWA Elite is where you belong. So Gabriel, pay close attention, because you are going to learn exactly where you belong soon enough. But enough of my golden voice. It's time to send down the meat so the NWA Elite can prove one more time why we are the most exciting vulgar display since the outlawing of public hanging. It's been so great. Here, do your job, kid.
Apollo fighting desperately for the tagging hands of his partners, but they've all been knocked off the apron, courtesy of the NWA Elite.
And it's breaking down now. The Elite taking control. Jason Cross going for the brainbuster in the ring. And there's the best damn brainbuster in North America.
But in comes Azrael, not the legal man.
Oh, good grief. And there's the crossfire.
Finally, finally.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of this match, Jason Cross, Rainman, Adryan, and Azrael, the NWA Elite.
And Bailey getting him some too. And they are not done with Apollo.
Apollo, who showed definitely some fire towards the end of that matchup, but regardless, the combined talents of the NWA Elite is just too damn much.
Running shooting star from Jason Cross. It's elementary at this point.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is set for one fall. It is sanctioned by the Board of Directors of the National Wrestling Alliance. With your main event this week on the Wild Side, and it's for the Wild Side Tag Team titles. Introducing champions from Greenville, South Carolina, at a total combined weight of 409 pounds, the team of Brandon P. and Jeremy B. the Carolina Connection. Ladies and gentlemen, their opponents from San Antonio and Waco, Texas, total combined weight 427 pounds. They are the Wildside Tag Team Champions, Todd Sexton and Masada, the Texas Death Club.
A very smart tag team, the Texas Death Club are as well as very, very dangerous. And their dangerous quotient is quite evidence right there. They jump the Carolina Connection with their backs are turned. Frankly, the Carolina Connection should not have turned their backs on the Wildside Tag Team Champions at all. But turnabout, apparently the proverbially fair play here, as the Carolina Connection just sent Masada over that top rope.
Sexton attacked there with a knee to the kidney of Brandon P. But Jeremy V was right there, reversal by Sexton. He ducks his head. There's the VDT right away in this matchup. We could have an upset right away.
And Masada drags his tag team partner underneath the bottom rope. A good defensive posture. Imagine losing the tag team titles within the first minute. Oh my goodness.
So not something that the Texas Death Club would want to ever grace themselves with or disgrace themselves with, depending on how you look at it. These two teams have had quite a rivalry, Steve. We've seen it develop over the weeks from the Texas Death Club, of course, winning the tag team titles from the Carolina Connection at Christmas Chaos 2003. And the Carolina Connection champions there, they held the titles, actually defeated the team of Bulldog Reigns and Tank to win their titles. And now Brandon P in the ring as an armbar here on Masada.
And the key to the success of any tag team in all professional wrestling is the chemistry you have with each other. And both these teams you see before you, Jeremy V and Brandon P, as well as Todd Sexton and Masada, the chemistry is intact and is functioning perfectly.
Oh, it is so true. In a singles matchup, you've got 100% accountability for your actions. You are responsible for everything that goes on the side of your team. However, in tag team competition, not exactly the case. You have to rely on a partner. You have to be able to trust that man with your very life. And these two teams here certainly do.
Brandon P trying to knock Todd Sexton off that top turnbuckle. Take that to Masada, and Masada landing on his feet. Boy, that's a good defensive posture there.
Buddy home on the Masada salt there. But he didn't land on his feet. Back elbow. Masada realigning the jaw of Brandon P, but he ducks that. Spinning a leg lariat, springboard leg lariat rather. And a drop kick by Brandon P. Looking tremendous here.
Brandon P with a pin attempt. Masada able to kick on out there. You know, I've been trying desperately over the last couple weeks to get a few words with the new Wildside Tag Team Champions, the Texas Death Club. They're not exactly particularly giving with some kind words or any words at all. Hopefully I'll get an opportunity to find out what's going on in the minds of the Tag Team Champions.
The conversations that I've had with Masada, and believe me, they've been limited, it seems like anything he states is not exactly qualifying for something that would be allowed on the air.
It's a problem we kind of face rather often here at NWA Wildside, isn't it?
It's a dirty, dirty business, Steve.
That it is.
Masada! Oh, good God.
Masada's like he's a good 220-pound man, jumping feet first onto the top of the neck of Brandon P.
I hope Brandon P has South Carolina's finest chiropractor after that. Northern Lights suplex and a bridge, but not enough to pin Brandon P down for the 3 count.
I think P might need a team of chiropractors right there going. The technician, Todd Sexton, leveling Brandon P. Fist to the face. And in comes the charming and effervescent Masada.
Irish whip. Double boot to the midsection. Masada comes back. Kick to the side of the head. Sexton with an enziguri. And Brandon P is so loopy, he's about an inch from his tag team partner, but has no clue.
Well, I'll tell you, both Masada and Todd Sexton coming from the Texas Wrestling Academy, being trained by Rudy Boy Gonzalez, and boy, I tell you, the Heartbreak Kid. You end up having some very talented feet, I don't mind telling you. Matter of fact, the head of the Texas Wrestling Academy, Rudy Boy Gonzalez, in action next week here on NWA Wildside. Looking forward to seeing his return.
Brandon P finding 2-on-1 odds there in the corner. But the 2-on-1 odds in the favor, and that's why Todd Sexton cuts him off with a drop kick.
Masada tagging in. But however, Sexton decides just to hang around as Jeremy V in to break up the pin attempt.
Despite a few offensive flurries, Steve, this matchup has been all Texas Death Club. And they are really laying a hurt on Brandon P. Masada now coming from the second turnbuckle. Goes for a DDT, lost his footing. And Brandon P. capitalized on that.
Take your opportunities, you get them, because with the Texas Death Club, they are rare indeed. Now can Brandon P. just roll a few feet to the tagging hands of Jeremy V. Seems like a short distance, but it's a long distance indeed to Brandon P.
Well, the Texas Death Club are winded from the assault, but Jeremy V is completely fresh. He's had very little involvement in this matchup, and he's in. And you can tell, look at the power. It's Jeremy V in here, House of Fire. There's the VKO. The short form on Sexton in the corner.
Jeremy V, a one-man tag team himself. Leveling both members of the Texas Death Club with all sorts of variety of offense. But he still is only one man, and TDC at the moment are just too much.
It's like the Texas Death Club going for a spike pile driver here. Their efforts thwarted by the Carolina Connection. Back body drop on Masada. And now P&V on the second turnbuckle. Double superplex onto Sexton.
And V is making the pin attempt on Sexton, and Sexton managed to kick out, just barely. With the last fiber of strength the technician had, he kicked out of that one.
Brandon P&V with a baseball slide power bomb. It's the aftershock.
Masada disposing of Jeremy V.
And Brandon P ducks that clothesline. He's going for a backslide attempt here. Masada says,
having none of it.
Says no. Jeremy V with a leg lariat there. Masada was going for the Masada-mizer. Sexton going for the super kick. No luck on either attempt, and a shoulder tackle from P is successful. And the rock and roll double drop kick. V got more than P.
Just as long as one of them hit, that was his key.
And the Carolina Connection here up on the top. The Carolina combo here, no!
Brandon P missed Todd Sexton. Sexton rolling out of the way. And Sexton interestingly rolled up towards Jeremy V. V not get anything quite what he wanted. Masada just pulled out Speedy Nelson for a bit of a confab. What the hell? The Urban Assault Squad? What did the Urban Assault Squad have? Obviously, they want to get the tag team picture here, but I thought their affiliation was with Al Getz. I can't keep up. What's going on here?
The hell are they doing? Good grief.
Todd Sexton has rolled up Brandon P. In comes Speedy Nelson to make the pin attempt. Hey, Sexton's shoulders were down too, for crying out loud. Boy, bad break for the Carolina Connection, but what on earth were the Urban Assault Squad doing out here?